IS BURNTWOOD lecture for 2015 was on the subject of evidence-based policy, given to us by Professor Charles Godfrey from Oxford University and chair of the DEFRA Science Advisory Committee. And he talked about how important it was to make sure that we had a very even playing field, level playing field for evidence to inform policy, so that politicians could actually make their value-based decisions but in full knowledge and understanding of what the evidence was saying.
This is again, I think we in the science community rather overestimate our importance. You know, policymakers, they don't know whether to do A or B. They don't know whether to immunise now or immunise when you're 8 years old. You call upon the scientists to be the arbiter. Now this does happen, and I gave the example of immunisation, that's a good example, but I think it's quite rare.
I'm very interested in the way science informs policy, or in some cases doesn't inform policy, because the area I work in, which is business innovation, technological innovation, that's really important in terms of the policy drivers within government. So I'm very keen to see how it plays out in other disciplines as well.
I come to the BURNTWOOD lecture for 2 years now because of the range of speakers that the IAS gathers. It's always different, and then the range of attendees are always insightful. So the conversation is passionate and informed, which is a unique position that the IAS holds, I think.
The diversity. You imagine there's going to be a stereotype, but in fact it's NGOs, people from charities, people from industry, people from politicians, political groups, a whole wide diversity.
And for me, that's the beauty of it, because those areas of overlap where the biologist meets the air quality person, the hydrologist meets the geologist and so on, and those are the areas for me that generate new ideas.
The fact that you often hear about a lot of these research results or findings on the news, so you're always getting it second hand. And I think one of the key things the event tonight taught us was quite often the scientific data can be interpreted in different ways. So you could take two different newspapers, for example, and they would interpret the same results in two completely different ways. And I think coming to the event tonight, you're actually hearing that research firsthand from the people that did it. And we're actually seeing the actual scientific evidence as it was identified, as it was researched, and we're hearing the opinion of the scientists themselves.
I would absolutely recommend the BURNTWOOD lecture to a friend who's maybe not even involved with the environmental sciences, because it can be a brilliant point of connection with people involved in the industry, but also just as a way of getting some knowledge from some of the best speakers in the country, really.
I think in this, in terms of this event, apart from the hospitality, which is always very welcome, again, I've enjoyed the conversations that have been stimulated by the presentation, and I've been talking to people in a variety of different disciplines, from biology and biosciences generally, through geology, through legal professions with interests in the environment, through air quality and so on. And I think anybody that comes will find that same diversity really exciting and stimulating and valuable professionally.